Hello friends at PUI. It is great to be with you today. I especially enjoyed seeing many of you in person at the recent agency meeting. Today we're going to talk about becoming aware of who you are and even of your opportunities. You see, you have to know yourself to grow yourself. Let's face it, it's difficult to improve your circumstances if you're unwilling to improve yourself. So you have to know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your interests, and even, again, those opportunities. So in order to really apply this process of awareness, you have to know where you are. What is the starting point? I know I've used this example before, but it's so appropriate to mention again today. You know, when we use GPS, and I don't know what I did before GPS. Probably I got lost a whole lot because I use my GPS on my phone all the time. But what happens if it doesn't have an accurate starting point? You know, we might eventually reach our destination, but it's likely that we're going to waste a lot of time and become frustrated in the process. Another example happens often when couples decide to see a marriage counselor. One spouse usually sets the appointment, and the other one asks, why are we going to a counselor again? One is often a realist and recognizes need for improvement and is willing to admit that changes need to be made, while the other one wants to sweep everything under the rug and just hope it disappears. Listen, if you really want to reach your full potential and live that best life that you were called to live, then you have to know where you are now and where you want to be. There are three kinds of people I have found when it comes to finding their direction. Number one, people who really don't know what they would like to do. And frankly, most people fall into this category. Sometimes these people are confused about what they want for their future. They don't often possess a sense of direction for their lives. They might be unfocused, or maybe they just dabble in this and dabble in that, and they never are really certain of where they want to go. As a result, they don't reach their potential. The second type of person is people who know what they want to do, but they don't do it. These people are usually frustrated. In fact, every day they experience this gap between where they are and where they want to be. Sometimes they aren't willing to pay the price to learn, to grow, to move closer to where they want to be. Other times, fear just sets in and prevents them from changing their course to pursue their passion. But no matter what the reason, they also miss their potential. And then number three, the third type of person is people who know what they want to do and they do it. The third type of people, they know themselves. They possess this strong sense of passion and they're focused on their purpose. And they grow in areas that specifically move them closer to that purpose. These people are doing what they were created to do. The best way to describe this person is fulfilled. Are you fulfilled? So how do you find your passion and your purpose? Well, it's important to become personally aware, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The need for personal awareness in our lives. That's not something that's discussed very often. You see, you have to know who you are to grow your potential, but you also have to grow to know who you are. In other words, begin to explore yourself as you explore growth. And a great way to start is to pay attention to your passions. I'll give you an example. Many years ago, John Maxwell knew that his passion was helping other people, which is ideal when you are in ministry and you're a pastor. But he began to explore the things that were really important to him. And he divided them into 4 categories, which can be represented by the word real. So R is for relationships, and then there's equipping, attitude, and leadership. And so while his passion led to this personal growth, the growth then led to a fine-tuned passion as he discovered his love and ability for leadership. And now that has continued to be his major focus for over 40 years. Even today, he said he still has a passion for his faith, of course, his family, of course, communication and creativity, which are all important to his life. But he honed in on leadership. So the first step toward change is awareness. And the second step is acceptance. Acceptance. If you really want to change and grow in a particular area and within yourself overall, you've got to know and accept who you are. I mean, my son used to tell me when he grew up he wanted to be an NBA player. Well, there was only one problem. He wasn't very tall, and he was a little above average when it comes to playing basketball. That's not a great combination for being an NBA player, right? But there's 7 questions I want to share with you to help you work through the process of finding your passion and your purpose. Number 1, ask yourself, do you like what you're doing now? Consider this question. You see, most people just get by and they get through the day. They get through life, never really excited to wake up and go to work or do what they believe they were called to do. Now, don't get me wrong. We all need to make a living. We all need to earn an income to pay our bills and provide for our family. But we should also find fulfillment within our jobs. And I believe you can do that. Ask yourself, number 2, what would you like to do? Maybe you love your place of employment, but your skills and your experience might be best suited in a different position within the company. Remember, there's a direct connection between finding your passion and reaching your potential. When you become aware of who you are, you can find out what you would like to do in your future, what you're really passionate about, and make that happen. And when you do that, then it gives you what I call the E&E factor, energy and excellence. You'll want to apply both in your workplace every day. When you find what you're passionate about, nothing is really work unless you'd rather be doing something else. If I could give you some advice in this area, it would be don't just listen to your head, listen to your heart. Do you want to do more traveling? Do you want to go back to school? Maybe you've always wanted to learn photography or you have a passion for art. Take a class to see if there's potential in that area for your future. I mean, at the very least, it may prove to be a great way to wind down and relax. But if you know your passion, you fulfill your potential. Pay attention to what you love doing. That's going to help you determine what your passion is. You know, I love adding value to other people. You know that. I've shared that with you before. I love helping people. So whatever my career path might look like in the future, it would have to line up with that passion. You see, I could never crunch numbers all day. That's just not who I am. It doesn't line up with my passion. So when your work lines up with who you are, not only do you not have to worry about being automated or replaced, you also become an untouchable customer service rep. You become an untouchable salesperson, an untouchable operations manager. Number 3, ask yourself, can you do what you would like to do? Make sure that the desire you have, that passion, does match your abilities. There's a big difference between just having a dream that propels you to achieve and pulling an idea out of thin air that has no connection with who you are and what you can do. I've always admired people who can draw, who can sketch, who are just really gifted in this area. And I happen to know this does not line up with my abilities. My sketches, my drawings look like stick people at the very best. And this in no way adds value to others, which remember is my passion. So I'm not going to waste time pursuing this. So we have to be realistic about what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are as we move forward. You want to learn and understand your unique talents and then determine how to best use them. Ask yourself, what drives you? What gives you satisfaction? I mean, what motivates you? That is going to line up with what satisfies you. And when that happens, that is a powerful combination. Samuel Johnson said, almost every person wastes part of his life in attempts to display qualities he doesn't possess. I simply want to remind you that God has given you unique gifts and talents. And somewhere within that I believe that's where you will find your passion. It's also ideal when your employer's priorities line up with your own priorities. You increase your chance of success in the workplace, especially. Number 4 is this. Ask yourself this question. Do you know why you want to do what you want to do? Do you know what drives you? What gives you that satisfaction? Because let me tell you this, motives do matter. Motives provide a clear vision of your heart. They make sure you're motivated by the work and not just the rewards of the work. Because when you do things for the right reasons, you're able to develop genuine relationships, and it prevents hidden agendas because you're putting people ahead of programs or agendas, and you just sleep better at night. So while you discover and develop your uniqueness, I want you to do so for the right reasons. Number 5, do you know what to do so you can know what you want to do? To go from where you are now to where you want to be ideally is a process. Do you know what it's going to take? Let's summarize what it's going to take as you grow and become more personally aware with 3 things. The first one is awareness. Picture now in any area of your life where you are now and where you want to be. Is it healthier? Is it less stressed? Better relationships? Less worried about finances? It all begins with being aware of your choices. Those daily choices, daily disciplines, they always matter. Be conscious of those choices. For example, maybe you want to save more money. We'll use a simple example. Examine those daily choices in that area. Maybe you start bringing your lunch 2 or 3 days a week, and you set that money aside that you normally would spend on lunch. And ask yourself, am I really using that gym membership? Can I find that walking outside and enjoying some fresh air might work instead? Then set that money aside as well. And every week, put that money that you would have spent on lunch in the gym in a savings account. You'll see things start to happen. Number 2 is this, action. Begin today. People who achieve their goals, they're not the ones who sit back and wait for things to change. They initiate the change. That means that they take responsibility, ownership for their future. Number 3 is accountability. Make your goals public. Track your progress. As you take action, you'll attract like-minded people. In fact, find someone who's already doing what you're trying to do. Ask them how they did it, or better yet, join them. As you find a mentor or an accountability partner, be purposeful, reflective, be grateful, and always be teachable. You might even want to share resources with each other and offer feedback and give encouragement. Find that accountability partner while you walk if you're giving up the gym, but stick to it. Number 6, will you pay the price to do what you want to do? You owe it to yourself to make your days here count. Things worth doing seldom come easy. If you get that promotion, or you start that new healthy lifestyle, or you begin to mend that relationship, or maybe set boundaries for those relationships that are not healthy, it will be difficult. Life also has the potential, though, to be better than you ever imagined. And then number 7, when can you start doing what you want to do? When I'm coaching a client, I always ask when. When do you want to start? What date will you begin? Often I hear, well, I hope to start next week. Hope is not a game plan. It's not a strategy. Some of the biggest achievements in my life I began before I really felt like I was ready. I learned along the way. Sometimes that just requires taking a leap of faith. So here's my question for you. Why not now? Just start. Nobody ever got ready for an opportunity by waiting. Our scripture can be found in Philippians 1:6. I'm sure of this. He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of salvation, the day of Jesus Christ. This refers to our eternal security in Christ, but it also reminds me that the same one who put the dream or desire in your mind, in your heart, is going to see it through to completion. Have a plan to become better. Don't just be busy, because hard work doesn't guarantee success. Focus on growing. Focus on not just your goals, but becoming aware of the gifts, the talents that God has given you. And then decide today that you'll move forward. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you took some notes. I know I spoke quickly. I will email a summary along with this too. Thanks again and have a great day.